I'm taking
Get
orders.
out! Who are you?
What did I do?
Get out.
And this week, we got even more. Tens of thousands of layoffs.
Massive layoffs are slamming the US food industry. McDonald's, KFC, and Burger King just made big moves, and it's shaking everything up. This isn't just a fast food problem. It's the latest fallout from Trump's tariffs, and it's hitting harder than anyone expected. And if what's coming next is true, this could just be the first course. It's the food hub versus the people. They didn't just downsize, they didn't quietly trim the fat. McDonald's, KFC, and Burger King just ignited a chain reaction that could obliterate thousands of jobs and crumble what's left of the US food industry. This is happening right now, and the most shocking part, it was deliberate. They're destroying the very foundation of America's fast food empire. Why are America's biggest food chains waging war on their own workers? Let's start with one of the most infuriating pieces of footage we've come across. A young man, calm, soft-spoken, clearly confused, stands in the middle of a McDonald's restaurant as he's confronted by management.
Can you get out?
I'm
out!
taking
Get out!
orders.
Who are you?
What did I do?
Get out!
I feel like it's my race, right? It's because I'm black.
Can you move?
It's because I'm black.
Can you move?
It's because I'm black. Right?
No explanation, no paperwork, just a brutal shove out the door on day 2. He hadn't caused a scene, he wasn't slacking off, he just existed, and that, it seemed, was enough to get him booted. He pleads to speak, he asks to get his jacket, he even tries to reason with them.
What did I do?
Get out!
I'm trying to work. Today's my second.
But what does he get in return? Disdain, dismissal, and absolute silence from the chain that supposedly prides itself on diversity and inclusion. Zero. And this isn't an isolated incident. According to a 2023 report by Business Insider, fast food chains have been accelerating terminations, even over minor infractions, as part of broader cost-cutting measures to free up capital for automation and stock buybacks. You're replaceable. Get out. Just like that kid at McDonald's. What's really going on behind the golden arches? Behind the smiling colonel? Behind the Burger King crown? Massive layoffs. Not just at the local level, but across entire regions. Back in April 2023, McDonald's made headlines for laying off hundreds of corporate employees in a single week, closing regional offices, and forcing remaining staff to work remotely. But what they didn't mention is that this was part of a broader restructuring plan that includes franchise-wide labor cuts at the restaurant level too. KFC, not to be outdone, has been quietly offloading underperforming stores and replacing employees with touchscreen kiosks, reducing staff in many locations to just a skeleton crew even during peak hours. Burger King? In 2023, they permanently closed over 400 locations across the US, an unprecedented contraction they tried to spin as strategic realignment. Behind the scenes, dozens of franchisees went bankrupt, leaving entire teams without severance or notice. You might be thinking, okay, sure, they're automating, but how bad could it really be? Let's take a quick look at what this new era of fast food service looks like.
Don't come to our KFC getting a f***ing attitude. Oh, it's all, I just called, oh, it's all on.
Yes, that's a KFC worker, on camera, dousing a complaining customer in water and hurling profanities. This isn't customer service. This is a breakdown, and it's not hard to understand why. Overworked, underpaid, stripped of support. What we're witnessing is a slow-motion detonation, not just of operational efficiency, but of human decency within these fast food ecosystems. One former employee interviewed by Vox described their store as a pressure cooker with no off switch, where teenage workers were forced to act as managers, clean bathrooms, and handle angry customers alone. Who's really paying the price? It's not just workers, it's you, the customer. Longer wait times, botched orders, unsafe food handling from overworked employees, all while prices continue to rise at a staggering pace, with average fast food menu prices jumping over 13% in the last 2 years alone, per the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And what's most chilling, these mass layoffs, these store closures, these cost-cutting campaigns, they're not about survival, they're about control. They called it streamlining. They said it was inevitable, but behind the carefully worded press releases and PR spin lies a far more calculated and disturbing truth. America's biggest fast food corporations are deliberately engineering a crisis, one that transfers power upward while silencing those at the bottom. Let's break it down. In 2023, California made headlines when it passed AB 1228, a law that raised the minimum wage for fast food workers to $20/hour at chains with more than 60 locations. The fast food giants lost their minds. McDonald's, Chipotle, and others started quietly threatening closures, hiring freezes, and even automation as retaliation. According to CNN, executives warned the public that higher wages mean higher prices. One leaked memo from the National Restaurant Association, revealed by The Guardian, laid out a chilling strategy: delay and deflect until public attention fades. In short, distract the public, fire the workers, raise the prices, blame the government. And as the public debates whether workers deserve a living wage, these companies are busy rolling out something far more permanent: robots, kiosks, AI drive-thrus. But the real goal? Reduce labor costs to almost zero and eliminate human resistance. According to Forbes, the company claims this is about customer speed, but insiders admit it's also a way to avoid union pressure and cut liability for worker injury, discrimination lawsuits, or misconduct. Because machines don't sue. Machines don't need breaks. Machines don't demand dignity. If you've heard fast food execs say we're barely breaking even, here's what they're not telling you. In 2022 alone, McDonald's made $6.18 billion in net income. Yum! Brands, KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, brought in $1.31 billion in profits. Burger King's parent company, Restaurant Brands International, earned $1.49 billion in operating income. CNBC reported that McDonald's spent over $3.6 billion in stock buybacks in 2023 alone, money that could have paid full-time wages for over 300,000 workers. Meanwhile, the CEO of Yum! Brands, David Gibbs, received a total compensation package of $14.6 million in 2023, according to SEC filings. So when they say, we can't afford it, they mean they don't want to dot. But beyond numbers, there's a more sinister cost: the erosion of values inside these companies. Let's revisit this clip, another from the McDonald's incident, where the employee, near tears, begs just to grab his jacket before being pushed out.
Can I get my jacket? Can I get the fuck? Get out. Bro, what's good with you? Bro, I'm gonna sue you, bro.
And it gets worse. Karen's Diner, a chain built entirely on abuse as a gimmick, recently went viral again for its server berating a customer who dared use their phone. Now here's the part no one's prepared for. The collapse of the fast food workforce isn't just a tragedy for workers, it's a warning shot for the rest of us. Already, the ripple effects are growing. Local farmers and food suppliers dependent on franchise contracts are losing deals as chains consolidate. Third-party delivery drivers are facing declining tips and longer wait times, even as gas prices climb. Communities, especially in low-income areas, are losing their only source of employment and affordable food. But here's what they didn't expect. People are fighting back. In California, workers rallied outside fast food locations, demanding protection, transparency, and dignity. The Service Employees International Union, SEIU, helped organize over 300 demonstrations nationwide in the last year alone. This isn't just about fries and nuggets. This is about the future of work, the erosion of accountability, and the corporate gaslighting of an entire population. Up next, Meta fires approximately 24 employees from its Los Angeles office for misusing meal vouchers intended for food purchases. These vouchers, valued at $20 for breakfast and $25 each for lunch and dinner, were used to buy household items such as toothpaste, laundry detergent, wine glasses, and acne pads. The firings occurred just before Meta announced a major restructuring of teams, including WhatsApp, Instagram, and Reality Labs, suggesting a broader context of policy enforcement during organizational changes. The misuse involved employees occasionally using credits for non-food items, while some systematically abused the system by pooling credits or having meals delivered to their homes. Meta's internal investigation led to the termination of consistent violators, while those with minor infractions received reprimands.
Meta just fired 24 workers for using their free meal vouchers to buy household goods like toothpaste and tea. And because of this, about 24 offenders got laid off, one making almost $400,000 a year.
The scale of these terminations becomes staggering when viewed against the backdrop of employee compensation. One fired employee, earning $400,000 annually, shared on the anonymous platform Blind that they used meal credits for groceries, justifying it as not wasting the benefit on days they didn't eat at the office. The employee described the firing as surreal, indicating shock at the outcome. Other Meta employees on Blind had mixed reactions. Some were shocked by the severity, while others believed the misuse warranted termination. The voucher system itself represents a significant corporate perk. These credits, usable via services like Uber Eats and Grubhub, were meant to support employees during long work hours at smaller offices without on-site cafeterias. The total daily value of $70 per employee translates to approximately $25,550 annually for each worker, representing a substantial benefit that some calculated as equivalent to a $10,000 pre-tax pay increase.
Now you might be thinking this isn't a big deal. If they have a Grubhub credit, does it matter how they spend it?
The timing raises questions about Meta's true motivations. The firings occurred just before Meta announced a major restructuring of teams, including WhatsApp, Instagram, and Reality Labs. This coincidence has led to speculation that the meal voucher violations provided convenient grounds for layoffs during cost-cutting measures.
Meta just launched a fresh restructuring plan, which meant laying off and relocating staff from its WhatsApp, Instagram, and Reality Labs division. Almost at exactly the same time, you have this story: staffers abusing their credit credit to buy toothpaste, something that has been going on for years, but all of a sudden, they are using the smallest technicalities to get people out the door. Translation: Meta has been looking for any excuse to fire employees to trim costs without having to pay them severance.
Public reactions were polarized across social media platforms. Some ex-posts questioned whether the firings were fair, while others supported Meta's decision as justified for resource misuse. On Reddit, discussions showed a range of views. Some criticized employees for being greedy over minor misuses, especially given high salaries, while others found firing high earners over small benefits barmy. Other social media posts confirmed the incident while highlighting the high salaries involved, which further fueled discussions about corporate priorities and employee treatment. The juxtaposition of firing high-earning employees over relatively small benefit misuse struck many as either justifiable policy enforcement or corporate overreach. HR expert Elizabeth Berry from Iris Software Group suggested companies should reassess benefits and understand why perks are misused before disciplinary action, emphasizing trust and ethical behavior. She noted that addressing perk misuse is a chance to reassess benefits and reinforce trust, suggesting HR should understand why misuse occurs before taking action. The incident reflects broader trends in the tech industry, where free food and meal vouchers are common perks, but companies are increasingly enforcing strict usage rules amid economic pressures. The median total annual compensation for Meta employees, excluding CEO Mark Zuckerberg, was $379,050, highlighting the high stakes of firing staff earning up to $400,000 annually. Tax implications were also discussed, with some noting that using credits for non-food items could be taxable income, creating IRS issues for both company and employees. This adds complexity to the incident, suggesting potential legal and financial ramifications beyond policy enforcement. Mark Zuckerberg himself has acknowledged the challenges of layoffs in the tech industry.
You recently announced multiple stages of layoffs at Meta. What are the most painful aspects of this process?
And you basically have a significant number of people who, this is just not the end of their time at Meta that they or I, would have hoped for when they joined the company. Running a company, people are, constantly joining and leaving the company for different directions, but for different reasons. And layoffs are, I think, uniquely challenging and tough in that you have a lot of people leaving for reasons that aren't connected to their own performance or the culture not being a fit at that point. It's really just it's a kind of strategy decision and sometimes financially required.
His acknowledgement that layoffs often affect employees whose performance and cultural fit are satisfactory adds weight to speculation that the meal voucher firings served as convenient pretexts for broader cost-cutting measures rather than genuine policy enforcement. The controversy has broader implications for corporate culture and employee relations across the tech industry. As companies face economic pressures and seek to optimize operations, the balance between policy enforcement and employee treatment becomes increasingly scrutinized. The Meta incident serves as a cautionary tale about how seemingly minor policy violations can escalate into major PR crises when handled without sensitivity to context and employee relations. Meta's decision to fire high-earning employees over meal voucher misuse, especially during a restructuring period, raises questions about corporate priorities and the treatment of workers in an increasingly cost-conscious tech environment. While some view this as necessary policy enforcement, others see it as a convenient excuse for cost-cutting during challenging economic times. Additionally, over 61,000 tech jobs have been cut across more than 130 companies in 2025, with major players like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and CrowdStrike leading the workforce reductions. These layoffs represent one of the most significant restructuring periods in tech industry history, driven by economic uncertainty and the rapid integration of artificial intelligence into business operations. Microsoft announced the elimination of 6,000 jobs on May 13, 2025, representing about 3% of its global workforce, with nearly 2,000 employees affected in Washington state alone. The layoffs aim to flatten management layers, streamline decision-making, and shift focus toward engineering and AI-driven initiatives like cloud computing. Google has implemented smaller, consistent layoffs throughout 2025. In May, it cut 200 jobs from its global business organization, which supports advertising sales and partnerships. Earlier reductions hit teams working on Pixel hardware, Android, Chrome, and Google Cloud as the company pivots toward AI-enhanced search and advertising. Amazon reduced its workforce by approximately 100 employees in its devices and services division, which includes Alexa, Kindle, and Zoox. These cuts are intended to align resources with evolving product priorities, particularly in AI development. CrowdStrike laid off 5% of its global workforce to boost long-term profitability amid rising costs and market volatility. The layoffs primarily affected customer success and non-core support roles, while the company doubled down on AI-powered threat detection and global expansion. The scale of these cuts is unprecedented. Social media posts capture the magnitude of concern. One user noted over 61,000 tech jobs were just eliminated across 130+ companies in the first 5 months of 2025 alone. Another post emphasized the ongoing nature of the crisis. More than 62,000 tech workers have lost their jobs in 2025, and the year isn't over yet. The reasons behind these massive layoffs are multifaceted. Global economic instability, including high interest rates, persistent inflation, and geopolitical conflicts, has disrupted financial markets, leading tech firms to tighten budgets and prioritize profitability over expansion. The post-pandemic reality check represents another critical factor. After rapid scaling during the pandemic to meet increased digital demand, tech companies are now downsizing to align with slower, more sustainable growth. The pandemic hiring boom has given way to a more cautious approach as companies adjust to normalized demand and economic conditions. Perhaps most significantly, the rise of artificial intelligence is fundamentally reshaping workforce requirements. AI tools like ChatGPT, Bard, and Copilot are automating tasks in areas such as coding, content creation, HR, and customer service. This automation reduces the need for large teams, driving layoffs across multiple sectors. For instance, IBM has automated HR functions previously managed by hundreds of employees, while CrowdStrike uses AI to enhance threat detection with fewer staff. A telling social media post captured this transformation. The main drivers are a mix of economic uncertainty, slower post-pandemic growth, and companies ramping up their use of AI and automation to cut costs. Another user noted the rapid pace of change. Entire workflows that required 50 people now need just one. The human cost of these changes is evident in viral social media content documenting layoff experiences. The Cloudflare account executive recording became a powerful symbol of the current employment crisis.
Hey, Brittany.
Hi.
Yes, I'm so sorry. My name's Rosie. I'm just joining the call. Nice to meet you. I'm on the HR team.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
Thanks for meeting with me and Rosie. We have an important meeting today. We finished our evaluations of 2023 performance.